me to have no cohesive theme on this channel. Here we go. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video that I wrote in about 15 minutes. I originally had another video planned for this week, but the files that I needed were not there and they were not working. And so, here we are. And of course, right after I started filming, I get the files to start working. Well, I'm already here, I'm sticking to it, let's just get into it. So, I wanted to take this time to talk about something that I have actually been talking about with a lot of people in my life recently. And it's this idea of living beyond yourself. What this is asking is, how do we live our lives in a community rather than just serving ourselves alone? So often in life, we tend to convince ourselves that we need to stick to being an individual, that we need to make ourselves believe that we can do things on our own. We don't need others in our lives. We need to be able to do this by ourselves. We isolate ourselves and limit our capacity for learning new things and exploring new talents. That isn't to say that focusing on yourself is inherently a bad thing. Self-reflection and self-evaluation is actually incredibly important to learning about yourself and learning about your talents and who you are as a person. But the idea of living beyond yourself expands that individualist point of view, and it teaches us how to look at how we can use those individual talents that we find about ourselves and how we can use those talents to better a community. You know, I stated this a lot in my 4 When series, but we as humans really can't go through life alone. Humans are quite literally hardwired for companionship. We are meant to be in community with other people. And that is not limited to romantic relationships like so many people will try and tell you. It's more than that. It's familial relationships, it's platonic relationships, it's companionship in general, having another person around you in a community to help us get through life. So often, society tries to teach us that we need to do things ourselves on our own. We are taught that when things go wrong in our lives, that we are the ones responsible for it, that it's our fault, and that it is our responsibility alone to fix that problem. Here's the thing though, you're not alone. We all are not alone. Even if you feel like you are alone, I can assure you there is someone else out there in the world that has a similar experience to you that can share in that hurt or that joy. In terms of living beyond ourselves, we need to learn how to take these experiences, figure out the lessons that they are trying to teach us, and use those lessons to help better other people. We can do this by learning about our talents and where we fall short, things that we're maybe not as good at. Once we learn these talents, we can say, what can I do with these talents that will help benefit someone else? For example, something that I tend to be very good at is comforting other people and helping other people see the best in themselves. I can use this talent to help others by giving a safe space for my friends and my family to come and vent to me, to share their burdens with me so that they can start to feel better and start to rebuild themselves so they can thrive. One thing that often gets brought up when I talk about sharing your talents is that we tend to believe that by saying something we are talented at, that we are bragging about ourselves. I'm here to tell you today that that's not true. There is a very big difference between sharing something that you are talented at and bragging. The main difference between the two is that sharing something you are talented in is simply sharing something about yourself, something about you that someone else might not know. Bragging, on the other hand, is sharing something that you are good at while belittling another person for it. Take this for example. Sharing something you are talented in would be like, I'm good at singing, or I'm good at being a leader. Bragging, on the other hand, would be saying something like, I'm a better singer than you, or you're not as good of a leader as I am. See the difference? Being able to share the things that you are talented in is so important because it also helps us see the places that we are not as talented in. You know, when we see an area that we sometimes tend to fall short in, we believe ourselves to be a failure because as people, we crave to be perfect in everything, which is once again not true. Some people are just better at some things than other people. Take me, for instance. I am great at talking about the most random things in the world. I am great at talking about stupid nerdy stuff like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or K-pop or whatever. Something I fall short in? Math, parallel parking, social skills, literally just about everything else. However, learning about our shortcomings actually gives us a really big opportunity, again, to live beyond ourselves. Where we fall short is a great place in our lives to connect and engage with our communities to make up the difference. We can ask others for help in areas that maybe we're not as good at to get the tools to be better. By engaging with other people in these shortcomings, we can learn how to become our better selves. Now, I know what most of you are thinking right now. Asking for help is a sign of weakness, which is once again not true. Society really has just trained us so well to make us believe that we need to do things by ourselves, that asking for help from other people is a big old no-no. But that's just not true. In fact, it's the very opposite of that. Asking for help is a massive, massive personal strength. It is such a huge strength to be able to know where you fall short, be vulnerable and open enough to engage with other people to help make up that difference and to become better. It is a sign that you know that you cannot do some things alone, that you need the help of other people to help make yourself the better person that you can be. It is the strongest, most powerful choice you can make as a human being. You know, it can even be something as simple as asking for someone with help on a math problem, or it can be something as big as telling someone when you are feeling depressed and you are just struggling with life. Living a life alone isolates us from other people, and it gets rid of that potential that we have to grow as human beings. We have the opportunity to go out and do incredible good for other people, and we often miss it because we are too busy living in this circle right here rather than this circle out here. You know, life throws you a ton of curveballs every single day, and you need that community with you in order to be able to face those curveballs with strength and dignity and power. You know, it really is high time that we change the framework that society has laid out for us as people. We can no longer afford to focus on just the individual person. We need to learn how to live beyond ourselves, to engage in community and have community engage in our lives in order to find out what we are truly capable of and truly make change in this world. For the sake of our own lives and for the lives of the people around us, live beyond yourself. Go for one day and think, how can I use what I am good at or my skills to help better my community and better the lives of the people around me? Because we can no longer afford to do anything different. And just remember, you are not alone in this world. You are never alone in this world. And it's high time that we do something about it. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. The usual links are in the description down below, as well as the usual song recommendation. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully with the actual video that I had planned. Bye! This is what happens when I get bored. I start just do a little dance. Woo! Getting stuff done.